All right, peace and greetings, YouTubers. Where do I start? Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Let me say it again. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. And when I tell you a portion of white America is livid right now, because Colin Kaepernick didn't ink that deal with Nike, oh, they are livid. They out there burning up shoes and burning up Nike products. And the thing that makes it funny is some of these people live out in the Midwest and on the West Coast, out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm like, you already know they got a million forest fires during the summer. Y'all need to calm down with that burning up stuff. Y'all always burning up something when y'all mad. If it ain't crosses, it's something else. Get your lives together. It's the most entertaining thing. So I've done many videos on Colin Kaepernick, and it's so funny because at this point, I think it's been 2 or 3 years, but it's the same narrative that keeps getting put out there about him from the media and from people who are against what it is he's standing for. And it's so funny because you keep hearing the same responses from the same angry people. And I'm just like, at this point, y'all have not even taken the time to look into what it is this man is fighting for, and you've chosen to not learn. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that's interesting. I think when people choose to stop wanting to evolve, when people choose to stop wanting to learn, when people choose to stop wanting to inquire about new information, when they just want to be set in their ways, that's when you have a regressive society. And honestly, that's what I think America has been for a very long time. A very regressive society. What's funny with Colin Kaepernick is this. A lot of people don't even know why they're mad at him. They're just mad because a black man had an opinion. They're just mad because black people are not in a position where they're being grateful. Because, you know, that's the thing that people like to put over black people as a collective. Anytime a black person has a little bit of anything, we're supposed to be grateful. Because pretty much you're indirectly acknowledging the fact that we're not supposed to have shit. You're indirectly acknowledging the fact that this is the country that pretty much goes out of their way to disadvantage people who look like me on purpose. So when people say he should be grateful, Stevie Wonder, when he said this about Black Lives Matter and people got mad and they're like, he can't even see. He should be grateful. We bought his records. You know, that whole he should be grateful. There's that narrative that black people aren't supposed to have anything. And in reality, as a collective, black people really don't have a whole lot tangibly. We have everything spiritually, we have everything mentally, but tangibly we really don't have a lot, unfortunately, because of how this country has been set up. I'm not going to go down the whole line in the narrative of the redlining and the subprime loans and the sharecropping and the this and the that and the prison industrial complex, because it's so on and so on, and the housing discrimination and the lack and discrepancies with the FHA loans and everything like that. I could talk all day about all that, but I've done that in a million videos, and at this point I'm preaching to the choir. But you know, people have this narrative that black people are just supposed to be grateful. And so watching Colin Kaepernick, who had lost his entire NFL career because he chose not to stand for the national anthem after he already told y'all, listen, I don't stand for this national anthem because the flag and everything that it represents is not true to itself. The flag and the national anthem and all this patriotism, it's supposed to celebrate a country that's supposed to do all these different things for everybody in the country, and everybody in the country is not getting all of those benefits. To be honest, the majority of the country is not getting those benefits. That's what I find funny. Some of the most patriotic people want to be mad at Colin Kaepernick, and really who you need to be mad at is you need to be mad at the rich elite who have made life miserable for everybody who's not in that top 5%. You know, you need to be mad at the people that you voted for who don't really represent your interests. You know, those are the people you need to be mad at. But y'all are mad because a black man decided he didn't want to stand for the national anthem because y'all think he was supposed to because y'all told him to. Y'all don't own us. That's the thing. A lot of people in white America think that they own black bodies, think that they own black opinions, think that they own anything that, you know, is pretty much that's there. Anybody, not even just black, whether it's Latino, whether it's any group of people. It's, you know, a lot of people think that they own the narrative of this country. They think that they are the moral compass of the world. And they think that if everybody does not think and operate in the same realm in which they do, then there is something wrong and they are a threat to America and they are terrorists. And that's why we have Fox News, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, I found it interesting. And of course, people start bringing up the troops and the this and the that. And I'm like, y'all, so that argument is so tired. It really is. Because can we be honest, if we want to talk about the military, a lot of the people in the military really are not signing up to go get shot in the ass because they want to. The military serves as an option for many people to get out of financial hardship. That's why the military does most of its recruiting in 2 places, trailer park neighborhoods and the hood. They're not going to Beverly Hills and recruiting. There's not too many schools in Santa Monica where the Marine recruiters in there trying to pull kids. You know, there's not many kids in the 90210 zip code that have military recruiters at their school. They're going to the neighborhoods where the median income is under $40,000 for a family of 4. That's what that's about. A lot of people who are going into the military, unfortunately, they're using it because it's a way to get out of financial hardship. It's a guarantee to a greater opportunity if they stick it out. The first few years you ain't gonna be making no money. You're gonna be broke as hell. But if you stick it out long enough, if you're lucky enough to survive any wars that you might get shipped off to, if you're able to come back and you didn't get your leg blown off, you didn't come back with PTSD, you came back somewhat okay and you're still a functioning adult after you get out of the service, you just may have an opportunity for a somewhat okay life. And you might be able to sit at the lower tier of the middle class, unless you came out of the military as an officer or you did the full 20 years and you came out as an E9 or an E8 and, maybe you got a good government job and now you're doing okay. But for a lot of people, like I said, the military is an option for financial escapism. And people have taken that narrative and they try to push this thing as, these are people who want to go and get shot in the head for my freedom. And I'm kind of like, no, that's some nonsense. Because first of all, can y'all tell me any war we've had in the last 60 years that actually had anything to do with protecting our freedom? Don't give me any narrative about terrorists, because all that is some BS. Pretty much any situation that we've gotten ourselves into, we already had a hand in anyway. You know what I mean? I can't. Y'all don't bring up the war in Iraq. We already saw how that ended, and it had nothing to do with enduring our freedom. As a matter of fact, it was Operation Enduring Iraqi Freedom, and we wouldn't kill 800,000 of them. Afghanistan, no comment. Desert Storm, no comment. Desert Shield, no comment. Vietnam, that's an entertaining one. I still don't understand. Y'all try to stage the whole Gulf of Tonkin incident, and then, we end up losing 58,000 troops to some nonsense. And then you had somebody run for president who pretty much sabotaged an opportunity to end the war just so they could become president, so more people could die. This is the country you're living in that you want to be patriotic about and get pissed because somebody like Colin Kaepernick decided, I'm not standing for that nonsense. I'm not a blind patriotic person. And that's the other thing. A lot of very racist people love to use patriotism as a shield to stand behind when they're doing all their racist activity. So that's pretty much the narrative in America. If you want to be racist and get away with it, pretend it's patriotism. Pretend that you care about this country so much that you can say pretty much all of the most hateful and just terrible rhetoric you can put out there. And as long as you kiss the flag after you say it, it's all good. It's America. And so I can't. It's the funniest thing. So, Colin Kaepernick is being vilified by the people who are pissed because Nike is endorsing him and people are boycotting Nike and all that. And I'm like, it's funny. Who was the dude? Was that Ted Nugent? Was it Ted Nugent? It might have been one of them Nugents. And you remember he did the whole thing and they were over there having the whole shootout with the freaking Federal Reserve, whatever little police department it was, over there in Oregon, over the land, and they were considered heroes. I said, that wasn't patriotic to me at all. They went and stole some land and pretty much were fighting the government. Y'all should have just thrown a book at them and, but y'all celebrate them. And, it's interesting when certain other people were in the head of state and looked a certain way, there were random people who claimed to be patriotic burning the American flag because they didn't like the way things were going. And now all of a sudden you have somebody who honestly just sits in a chair. And then because somebody asked him, why don't you stand for the national anthem? And he gave a reason why. Apparently that's absolute treason. He should go to jail. Pull his NFL career. And so it's funny. So now that this man who's lost his career has found a way of living, found a way to support himself financially, people are living. Because that's the other thing. As a black person, if you're not grateful, then you're not supposed to have anything. You're never supposed to make money in this country. Commerce should never be a conversation that comes out of your mouth ever again. And unfortunately, Colin Kaepernick, he said not quite. Because now the tide is turning. His story is starting to become a narrative where you're seeing heroicism. You're starting to see him as a hero. In the same realm that people did Muhammad Ali back in the day. Because remember, Muhammad Ali was like, I ain't going to no Vietnam. Y'all got me over here trying to fight and blow up some people I don't even know. You want me to go and fight all this when in the very country that I'm living in, these are the atrocities that are happening to people who look just like me each and every day. That's the war that I'm fighting. But you want me to go all the way to the other side of the Pacific and fight some people I've never met before. I can't even tell you where Vietnam is on the map. I can't tell you what it is that they've done. But apparently, you want me to go over there. No, I'm good. And so during that time period, of course, he was vilified. He was the worst thing walking. After all the accolades he had earned from boxing, people wanted him to be public enemy number one. Fast forward 20, 30 years, he was a hero. And by the time he died, he was one of the greatest. And so now that narrative is changing for Colin Kaepernick. It's making people uncomfortable because they were like, no, we thought we finished him off. What is he doing getting a Nike ad? Why is he the face of anything? We got to deal with him, man. We got to deal with Serena. Because they hate Serena. And it's so funny because Serena just always wins everything. It's so funny. I always look at, her biggest rival and the fact that not only did Serena Williams beat her biggest rival while she was 5 months pregnant, she also beat her biggest rival when her rival was on steroids. You get your life together. But anyway, that's the country that we're living in. I don't know, people, if y'all want to burn the shoes, you should have at least kept them and donated them. You know, if y'all so patriotic, you care about the country, donate the shoes to people who actually need them rather than burning them up. Y'all wasting money. And that's the other thing, like, it's, again, if you want to be a patriotic person in this country, you want to fight something, you need to fight the elite that are making the country suck for everybody. They're the ones screwing up everything, but y'all mad at black people because we got an opinion. Y'all mad at black people because we stood up for some stuff. What the heck? Y'all get your priorities together. Y'all don't even know what y'all want to be mad at. Like, your current president and his tax cut that's about to screw everybody over except for the rich folks, I don't see y'all protesting none of that. Y'all endorsing it, but see, that's the element of whiteness. Whiteness allows you to protect the establishment because whiteness has you under the impression that just because you look a certain way and just because you think you contribute to society, you will receive all of the benefits that the top elite get. And that's how they've won over many, many Americans, especially really working poor and working class Americans, giving them the idea that they are a part of this. Don't worry, it's going to come to you too. Just work hard, okay? That's why somebody like the current president can run on a campaign and be classified as a blue-collar billionaire. What kind of nonsense? How does that work? That's what I'm trying to figure out. You know what I mean? First of all, the term blue collar already means working class, lower end of middle class, meaning you most likely had some kind of factory job back in the day. You worked at the steel mill, you worked at the coal mine, you worked at Ford, you worked somewhere where you were doing some hardcore handiwork. You weren't white collar because you weren't in a nice office sitting behind the cubicle. You were doing some actual hands-on ground work, meaning you worked just hard enough to make it and be somewhat okay in society. So how does that correlate to being a billionaire? I don't see the correlation. But again, the element of whiteness. So of course, y'all want to be patriotic. Y'all can't stand Colin Kaepernick, but your current president, you over here brown nosing with Russia every 5 minutes, putting in all this policy that's really going to scoot the country over in about 20 years, and everybody's going to feel it. But hey, that's the patriotism. I don't know. Y'all just mad. Y'all don't even know what y'all want to be mad at. I can't. Y'all mad at the group of people who don't even have anything. And it's funny because somebody's going to look here and say, well, you look like you got an okay kitchen. You look like you're living good. And I'm like, here we go again. Just because black people or some people get basic minimums, basic things that people have, like a place to stay and some shelter, all of a sudden we're not supposed to fight for anything anymore. Just because, you know, people have this narrative that if black people as a collective are no longer in the working poor or no longer in working class, hell, I think I'm in working class, to be honest. I think I'm still in that tax bracket. But you know, there's an assumption that once black people are no longer in working poor, they need to be quiet and be grateful. There goes that grateful narrative again. We're just so grateful to be oppressed. So happy. Anyway, I'm out. Share your 2 cents. Y'all can sit here and boycott Nike all you want. It's not going to affect their stock. It's not going to affect anything because a lot of the people who were boycotting Nike anyway weren't wearing any Nike anything anyway because they ain't in no kind of physical shape anyway. Anyway, I'm out. Subscribe.